let's talk about creating our artwork. Something that's been extremely helpful is to have my supplies sitting out readily available where I can see them. It almost seems to draw me in, even for a few minutes if I'm not planning to. So I've set up an extra table by a window, which provides lots of beautiful natural light just to see better, as well as it's great for creating photography and video content. So what I have here is my rag that I blot on, my two favorite paintbrushes. It's a round 8 and a filbert 8 by Princeton. I have a water dish, Strathmore cold pressed watercolor paper, Hydrus fine watercolor ink by Dr. Martens. I love this for making motifs. It just scans in very nicely. And then just an inexpensive little ring dish. So before I even start creating, if I know that I'm working on a collection or a custom piece for a boutique, I always think about how I want the end result to look before I start creating the art. Sometimes the project will call for sketches with pencil or ink, but most often I do paint my motifs, and I wanted to show you a little bit how I approach starting to jump in to create elements. If I plan to work in Illustrator, I know that color is not an issue, but contrast is when we scan in. So in this case, what I do is I'll grab this dark ink and I'll just start creating. So here we can just make some simple florals. Just want to make simple shapes because when we don't overthink things and we play, we typically get these fun organic shapes with this texture, a little more whimsy, and we can always go in and adjust things in Photoshop or in Illustrator. It's actually really amazing what the impact of these simple shapes can do when you try to put them in a pattern. And the more loose we are, sometimes it just feels that much more approachable. When we allow ourselves to play, we'll surprise ourselves most frequently, and our artwork will show the feelings that we're having, that we're creating, that it's not forced or stressful. What I most want to impress is that this process should be fun and loose. And then the elements that we create here can be broken up into other elements and used in infinite ways. So at times, our projects will call for more detailed work, but most often what I find is just getting loose and playing will create really interesting effects and take your work to a different creative level. One of my biggest tips is when you're aiming to create something like a tulip, for example, you don't want to aim for perfection. You just want to aim for just the feeling of the petals, the shape of the overall floral itself. What do the buds look like? What do the stems look like? What do these leaves look like? They're long and thin. The petals are oval. And then when you try to replicate that with any floral or anything composition you're trying to create, is what is the general feel, the shape. Look at the contrast, the lights and darks, and you'll soon find that breaking things down is much simpler. Start to use your tools in a way that serves you, provides creativity, and you'll quickly see that once you start looking at other textiles and patterns, you'll see that they're all typically not that complicated. Just having a basic understanding of what your materials can do, your creativity can do, will make it a lot more approachable to create things that you envision and bring them to life.